Hi, thanks for stopping by. Today is March 14th, 2026. Just going to over more game data here. You can see I have something called the calendar invite server running over here. That stack is running on AWS, and we've built a incredible interface on top of it. That person is Arnie McInnes, my teammate, and let's get into it. This is a API set running in the background. And what I'm doing with it is I'm sending data from a Google Calendar using a create command. That create command hits a email box. That email box is backed by an S3 bucket. That bucket we grab and then we do an ETL on it into DynamoDB, and we set the data in there for the REST API to be built for these calendar invite buttons over here. So there's a whole pipeline that's linear across this first phase, which is the data loading phase, to get to a MLB like calendar for 2,400 events with these embeddable calendar invite buttons. So that's what I'm going to show you all real quick. That's it. We'll cut the demo there and we'll go to live theater. And this live theater is a lot of fun. Let's take a peek at data here. So you can see in the data between these two panes, this is my Google Calendar here, and then this is our calendar invite server running this same emulator, if you will, a digital twin from this makeup here of this data. And that's what I'm doing. Essentially what we have done over the last 3 years is load data for NFL, MLB, NBA, and this has been our learning lab, if you will, on how this whole presentation layer works. So let's roll the screen here. You can see as I scroll up, the data itself, if I make it a little bigger over here, you can kind of see as I look for June 3rd data here, June 3rd data there, over here in our calendar system, and how we map data. So 1140, 440 is the next game up, and I'm missing that one. We did the 140. You see the 140s here. Let's see. We have a 440 Phillies game, which is mapped here. I can pop it out. You all see that I use this create command. That create command was sent to the box. That box ETL'd the data, presented in here, and then when this page was built with the front end, Arnie's doing a grab and go, if you will, grabbing all the MLB data. He's sorting it here in the browser using JSON and then coming up these really cool pages. What's also important to render out here in the storyline is that each of these pages have a send invite button. What's behind there is a REST API for calendar invites to be sent. He's grabbing all that data, stuffing the API 1 in here, which is a REST API for the singleton calendar events right here in line. So when I click a button and you deploy it to the field, the end users can basically go up and select games out of this picker here. They put their email address in, and they click one button to get a calendar invite. So a little off track. Let's get back to it. I'm going to find a game to load. Maybe we'll just look backwards here. There's 740. 738 you see here has not been loaded in here. So let's just pick on 738. I'm going to go here. That's the game for 738 time slot. Can make this bigger so you all can see it. I'm going to hit there, create a calendarsnack.com. It's going to send it to the gateway. We're going to ingest it, and it's going to sit in our REST API to be rendered in these pages. So essentially, this is a content management system as well. So I'm going to wait a second here. I'm going to show you back in the time machine called slides what I just did. I showed you all how I went in. I used the create command, hit an API. It's going to show up in this page. Okay, buy a little time for processing the data. And what I'm going to do here is refresh the screen because it is a REST API. I got to go grab the data. So what I'm looking for is that 738 time slot to be showing up here on this page. I'm going to click this a bunch of times. It's going to load data. You can see these bullets showing up here in the page, the content management engine. I'm going to hit June here for refresh. Just going to hit a couple loads, and you'll see these buttons show up across the array. I'm going to go to the third, and I'll go to the third over here, which is fun, at least not in that view. My God. Let me go to schedule view. My bad. Never a perfect demo. Here we go. So you all can see that. I'll make this smaller so it's not so large. We can manage your data a bit better. One bigger there. And you can see when I go down to here, that is the week level or the day level. I don't want to look at that. Got to go back to the schedule. Okay, and get my bearings back. Apologize for that. Live demos can be goofy. Let's see here. Okay, so there's our 738. That's the one we just loaded. I showed you all. Oops, excuse me. It was the 738 for the third. You can see I sent it to the box, and there it is there. Event details, 738. You can see this data here is mapped. It's the same. We ate the data. We're displaying the data. And then if somebody wants this calendar invite downstream, they put their email address in here. Someone like Zach, they click a button saying, yep, I can do that. And if Zach, if you had deployed this as the organizer in the field, what happens is people like Zach come by, click a button, get the calendar invite, and we track all that data on the back end, and then we can update this data as well. Now, I'm not going to get into that. I'll stop there, and thanks for stopping by.